Phil's in Swansea next with some thoughts. Hello, Phil. Good morning, sir.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Very well. Lovely to hear from you, Phil. What's on your mind this morning?
Trump and the Iran problem.
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think he should have sort of warned people what he was going to do first.
Who? Which people?
No. The Americans, for starters, and other leaders around the world.
Why is that necessary, do you think? Because, as Mark was pointing out, we used to hold intelligence very dear. If he started squirting around to anybody who'll listen that he's about to blow this guy up, then surely this fellow would have caught wind of it and dived under the nearest rock.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But, since Trump's got in, things are quiet. And then he got in and he rattled a few cages with Russia and with North Korea. It's
interesting. You're right to a point. I mean, they were quieter under Barack Obama's administration, but it didn't mean that the US military were any less active. As Mark was pointing out earlier, in fact, they were arguably even more active in terms of their incursions, particularly in Afghanistan at the time. It's just that we weren't talking about it as much, and we were just sort of turning a blind eye and letting him crack on with it. And he was, and the other thing is, he wasn't tweeting about it every 5 minutes in capital letters and screaming from the Oval Office at top volume. You see, those are the differences, the obvious differences.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that militarily the US were any more inactive. They were actually still quite busy and prolific during that time. So, what is of concern, I think, is that Trump was elected on the promise to actually withdraw militarily from these parts of the world, and actually
now he's going back in.
Going back in again, and whereas the Iraq War was a proxy war over oil, as we've practically established these days now, and we can be a bit more honest and open about that. This is blatantly about oil and who controls the resources coming out of that part of the Middle East, and how we retain access to it. Is absolutely significant, because it's what so much of our economy is hinged upon, isn't it? And that's much more obvious now, isn't it?
Which is why he wanted to get hold of Greenland, didn't he?
He seems to want to land grab anywhere he can, anywhere they've got anything worth having.
Yeah, which is why I'm a tiny bit worried about Brexit and. I just hope that Trump's hands can't grab the UK.
Oh, so we're next, you think? We're next, but in a different form somewhat. So we're next in as much as we're just as much a resource for him to...
Somewhere along the line we're going to be trumped.
Is that the term now? It's like a game of whist, isn't it? You've been trumped.
Yeah.
Oh, grief, what a thought. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, what are you expecting Boris Johnson to do or say today? He's back from his holiday. He'll look sun-kissed and relaxed, and he's coming straight into a baying pack of press who'll want his position on this. Are you expecting to hear anything of note?
Not really.
No, that's disappointing, isn't it? It'd be useful to have a Prime Minister who took a position on something, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. It's the case of the last few Prime Ministers we've had seem to... America says jump and we do it.
Yeah, we say how high, yeah.
We need to...
But that'll always be the way, won't it? When we are a much smaller economy compared to the United States of America, and yet we are their closest ally. So we'll always be a little bit like their lapdog, their number two, effectively. But whilst we have a seat at the table, it'll be whoever's running the White House that's actually going to make the final call on many, many issues that we're inevitably involved in, unless we decide to proactively resist and push back. But I can't see that happening at a time when we very much need them and indeed their trade to ensure that we remain viable after Brexit, as you say.
Yeah, and yet we need the standards we've got now linked to the EU. So,
I hear your concerns.
One way or the other, we're on a seesaw.
And are we heading up or down right now?
I've got no idea. I think we're somewhere in the middle,
All right.
trying to decide what way.
Balancing, trying not to fall off.
Yeah.
All right, Phil, I'm glad we managed to get you on. Thanks very much for your call. You stay safe. Take care.